Well, hello there and welcome to the channel. My name's Dave and today I'm going to give you a good old honest overview and quick review, long-term review on my Kawasaki Ninja H2SX SE Performance Tourer. So it will be nearly a year I've had this, so I think another month or two and I'll have had this 12 months and it's been put through its paces. Let's just say that it only got above 3 degrees a couple of hours ago, so everything's thawing out now. Thought I'd pop out and do this little review today. Might as well get it done, eh? And let you know what I think of this beautiful bike. So before we get into the good and the bad, let's have a look at what this bike's done in the last 10 months or so. So in 10 months on the bike I've done, by the looks of it, 6,016 miles, so quite a lot of miles. But in those 6,016 miles we've done quite a few camps as well. So I've been 1-up camping on this. It's not really possible to go 2-up camping on this because you've got nowhere to put your tent when someone's sitting on the back seat. So I've only done 1-up camping, but I think I've been on 4 camps, all of them brilliant. Bike's got no problem, you know, carrying all the stuff in the panniers and on the back seat, you know, put the tent on the back seat. It's absolutely solid, fine camping machine, but only for 1-up because it's got no top box or anywhere to put a tent, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, it's done 6,000 miles. It's been through the mill a little bit, so the mileage it's done has not been lovely A roads. Most of the time we've been on B roads, down some really pretty bad lanes, and yes, I've definitely felt it, put it that way. Yeah, it's not been all good decent flat roads. It's been a lot of potholey, crappy, sludgy roads, you know, down lanes as we go around the countryside, which is fine. That's what it's for, really. But yeah, just to let you know, them 6,000 miles are not all like this, you know, perfect road miles. It's been put through its paces, let's just tell you that. Right, let's just see if I can find somewhere nice and quiet to go in this beautiful sunshine. It's freezing though, got to be honest with you, but let's go find somewhere nice and quiet to talk about the bike. So this is a longer term review. I did a quick review as soon as I had it, you know, first thoughts and all, but this is after really putting it through its paces over the last 10 months. So as you probably know, I bought this from Cornwall Kawasaki. I went all the way down Cornwall to pick this up, and by the time I got back it was pretty much ready for its first service, which was awesome because I got that out the way quick. I bought it on a PCP from the guys down there, and I had it upgraded with the performance package and also the touring package put on, and I've got a few other little bits on it as well, which I'll go through with you. See if there's any sunshine in here. Hello. Right, found us a nice little spot here. There's a few people around, but let's not worry about that. So this is my beautiful 2023 Ninja H2SX SE Performance Tourer. Like I said, it's done 6,000 miles. The additions that I've put on it, the things I've put on a helmet lock. And what else have I got on it? I've got the Kawasaki phone holder, which is just there. And I've put the rad guards on it. So I've got the top rad guard and the bottom pipes guard in there. And up here I've also put the power bronze screen on the bike. I've got something down there. It's really hard to get behind the screen to clean it. So I put the power bronze screen on, I put the red guards on and the pipe guards and the helmet lock and the Kawasaki phone holder, which just about holds my iPhone 14 Pro. So them are all the mods I've done to this bike. So let me give you my honest opinion about this bike after owning it and running it for the last 10 months. So let's start with the slightly worse first. Yeah, let's go for the bad stuff first, or the not as good stuff. So the first thing, I got to point this out to you, and you may want to go and check yours if you've got one of these. I noticed some brown coming on the center stand. Granted, you always get it on the bottom where it's scraping on the floor, but I also got some on the top here. and as you can see, the coating has completely come off the stand, and I think it's actually rusting through. So that's happened. Also, one of the straps in the left pannier has snapped. So I've got a snapped strap in the pannier, which is a pain in the butt, and a rusting stand down there. So I'm taking this into Kawasaki tomorrow to get those two things rectified. So what they're going to do is they're going to change the strap in the pannier, but they're not going to change the center stand. They're just going to touch it up, I think, or recoat it, or do something. It'd be great to get a new center stand on it, but even a new one's probably going to have the same coating and everything, so in another 10 months it'll probably do the same thing. So them are the not so good things about it. Pretty much everything else on the bike has been fine since I've had it. One thing that has surprised me a little bit is the paint. So although the paint is gorgeous, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it sparkles like a mirror ball, look. So whilst it is gorgeous paint, it really is, it's not very resilient. So it's had some, you know, small stones hit the front like you do on all bikes, but it seems to have chipped, you know, tiny little chips really easily, and especially down here by where the supercharger inlet is. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to show you this on this GoPro, but here it's been dotted and peppered quite a bit, and there's nothing I can do with that really, apart from I suppose you could touch it up, but it's really special paint, isn't it? So it's took some impacts down there, gets a lot of impacts on the front here by the tyre, and some impacts on the front, on the nose cone here. They're only tiny, but yeah, it seems to be more noticeable on this bike. I don't know whether it's because of the colour or not, but I don't remember the VFR getting hit that hard or having that many marks on it. So yeah, the paint surprised me a little bit. Gorgeous paint, it really is, but it seems to be either quite thin or not much of a clear coat on it. I don't know anything about paint. But it also translates over here. So on my helmet lock here, the coating started to come off the helmet lock as well, which makes it look a bit cheap, but hey ho. It's actually getting really busy around here, so I have to keep stopping, so I might just do this on the fly if that's okay with you while I'm riding. But yeah, those are the only issues or little things that I've picked up about the bike. The rest of it is just, it is obviously next level phenomenal. But yeah, the rusty stands, that's bugging me, because why make a stand out of something that's going to rust? I mean, it gets all of the salt and everything down there, does it? There is one other thing actually. I've never had a rusty chain on a bike in my life, and I've been using that Worth spray on the chain that they recommended that I use, and it did and has gone a little bit brown on the edges here, which is not good at all. So I'm going to be scrubbing all that, getting rid of all that rust and cleaning all that spray off it, and actually using probably the muck off stuff which I used to use before. So in all my years of riding, even since a kid, this is the first time I've ever had rust appear on a chain, which is very, very strange. Yeah, I'm going to have to move on, I'm afraid. There's people everywhere. They keep coming up to say hello right in the middle of me chatting to the camera. So this is not really a review on the bike. I think that's been done to death, hasn't it? So this is really just honest impressions after 10 months of ownership. Let's get it off its stand. Okay, that's one thing I will say, is that the centre stand on it is absolutely fantastic. So easy to rock the bike on it and get it off it again. That's awesome. The VFR I had was terrible. It was really, really heavy. Not balanced very well, the stand on the VFR. This one seems to be fine. So the bike on the whole, as you would expect, is absolutely unreal. It's a fantastic bike, it really is. So as I said, this isn't really a review of the bike. This is my impressions after 10 months and 6,000 miles of using it. And it might be all over the place, so forgive me for that. don't seem to be on form today for some reason. I think it's because I haven't been out for 3 weeks on it. But let's get into all the things you know, that I've noticed about the bike. Obviously my opinions only, and they are personal to me, really. You know, you might not find the same issues when if you go out on yours, or if you've already got one, if you go to buy one, might be a totally different experience for you. Right, so first off, the performance of this bike, as in all the electronics, the speed, the thrust it's got from that supercharger, the handling, everything like that, you know, what this bike's designed to do is just 100% amazing. There's no doubt about it. Performance on this machine is next level. It's absolutely incredible. I can't fault it at all. It is absolutely superb. The way it looks as well, after 10 months, I still absolutely love the looks of this bike. I think it's gorgeous. The only thing I'd change about the looks is the paint. It'd be great if it was just all black, but that's just me. Even green and black as it is now, it's still phenomenal looking machine, and I love the looks of it. It's quite windy, so I'm actually turning the camera on when we're putting up at lights and stuff, so you can hear me. So there is one thing that I feel I must mention that's happened to me over time with the bike, and it's a mistake I've made as well. It's not just the bike. So I'm 5'8", and the lean over on the bike is a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, and I've struggled to adjust to that lean. But me being me, I've been like, just get out anyway and just, you know, grin and bear it sort of thing. But over time, what I've done, I'm actually injured at the moment, so I've knackered my rotary cuff in my right shoulder, and I've knackered it quite badly, and doctor said it could take between 4 and 7 months to repair itself, and if it doesn't repair itself, I need to go in and maybe have something done to it. I know exactly how I've done it. 100% I know exactly how I've done it, and it's partly my fault, but it's partly the bike's fault. So when I did the review, my initial impressions of this bike and my little review on it, I said the comfort was spot on, and I've got to be honest with you, the seating position is brilliant. I think it's just my age, so I'm 52 now, and the doctor said, you know, when you get over your 50s, all your ligaments etc. are usually the first to weaken. So I think 10 years ago I would have absolutely been okay with this seating position. It is really comfy over long distances. I feel I can just sit here with no problem at all. But I do know how I've injured myself on the bike. So the suspension on the bike in normal road mode is quite stiff. It's very stiff actually, and I've been riding around without changing the suspension settings at all. I've changed them now, but too little too late really. So leaving the bike in road mode and the suspension in, you know, its usual mode for one up, it's quite hard, the suspension, and going down hills on pothole roads, and I'm just sort of hanging on for dear life sometimes because some of them are so bad. I would guess that my shoulders are being used as part of the suspension, and we did a very long trip the other month, and on the way back I could feel my right shoulder. It felt like it was going to pop out of its socket, and it probably did at one point. So what I've done is I've put some tank pads on. You've probably seen them on the last video. So I've now got no problems dipping my knees into the tank and take the weight off my wrist. And I've also adjusted the suspension so it's on its soft setting, which seems to be, for me, a lot better. Time will tell obviously when we go on the next long ride out, but soft setting for me seems to be a hell of a lot better, and my arms are not getting smacked as much. But yeah, I have damaged my right shoulder riding the bike. I thought it was important that you know that, which is really weird because sitting here now I'm extremely comfortable. I think it was just a couple of factors, you know, no tank pads, so I was frightened to put my knees in the tank, I was holding on too tight, wrong roads, you know, really bad roads. I think all that just came together and just totally screwed me up, to be honest. But there you go. So that's an injury I'm working through at the moment. So let's go through a few more stats with you. With regards to fuel, I can get over 200 miles out of this bike between fuel stops. So when I'm out touring or just, you know, up north or going over the peaks, usually around 200 miles, maybe slightly more. If you're on it constantly, then obviously that's going to drop. But I think between 170 and 220, that sort of range is what I've been getting out of the bike. And just going through the menu here, my average miles per gallon over the last 100 odd miles has been 48. Or is that the whole lot? That might be the whole lot. But very regularly when I look at that, I'm getting 50 to 60 miles per gallon. I mean, cruising down this road now, I'm getting 87 miles per gallon according to the reading there. So I think on average, if I'm on a tour and we're riding like this, we're not going nuts, I could easily get over 55 miles to the gallon on the bike. My max lean angle, so I'm at 35 on the left, 35 degrees on the left and 33 degrees on the right, which is enough for me. I know that doesn't sound a lot to you guys. I don't know how you guys get 45 degrees allegedly when I read your comments, but 35 or 33 is quite scary. I don't think I'll be getting much more than that, but that's my max lean angles at the moment. I also changed the tyres from the original. So the original tyres, I think they were the S22s. Great tyre, but they literally run out within 3,000 miles, 2,500, 3,000 miles. So points in that. So I've put the Road 6s on, which are brilliant. They're a great tyre. Oh, man, the roads are so bad down here. So another thing that I just want to mention is the apps. You know, the apps you get on the dashboard there. So when you know, you can Bluetooth your phone and sync your phone to it and get maps and all that stuff on the dashboard. I've got to be totally honest with you. I've tried 4 or 5 times to sort that out and to, you know, actually get the maps working to where they're workable. I mean, it sucks that you have to use a third-party app for that, which is really weird. But I cannot get on with the Rideology apps and all, you know, all the apps that are on the Kawasaki apps. I can't get on with them at all, and I have tried. I have really tried. I was really hoping that was going to be fantastic. Even down to when you're changing the settings on the bike, you can do it within an app. That's even worse than using the dashboard. And when you've got the app and the phone and everything synced to the bike seems to stop you doing things through the dash as you normally would. It wants you to use the app on the phone, and you can't because you're riding the bike. So I've just deleted all the apps off the bike. I may be totally wrong about that, and I just don't get it. So you might have no problems with it, but I think they're terrible, and I can't use any of them, so I just don't. So I've unpaired my phone, got rid of all the apps, all that kind of stuff. Just not good for me at all. So I just rely on my trusty little Kawasaki mount here with my phone. I use my phone for everything. I don't understand some of the reviews on these bikes. You know, people who give reviews on the bikes, they've obviously got some affiliation with the garages they're getting them from, and I'm gonna say a lot of them are just outright blatantly lying. So you know, I watched, before I bought this bike, I watched somebody talking about the applications you can get on your phone for saying how absolutely unbelievable and fantastic they were, and turn by turn maps and all that kind of stuff. My opinion, that's absolute rubbish. They're not good at all. They're not intuitive, very difficult to use. I had the maps on the screen at one point and it was showing me where I was. I couldn't figure out how to set a route on the map and get directions. I did it on the phone fine, which then showed me on the thing, but who wants to do that? It's just really, really strange. But it's strange that people say things are fantastic when they're not. I mean, you know why they're doing that, don't you? But I would never do that. So my experience with the apps is they're absolute rubbish. I can't use them. Like I say, it might be me because I'm old. I'd be interested to hear your opinion about the apps actually in the comments. So if you've got one of these bikes or similar and you use the Kawasaki apps, please let me know. your experience with the apps, and because it might just be me. Be nice to know if it is just me. But yeah, for the rest of it, I mean, I clearly love this bike. Yeah, like I said, I think it's the greatest bike ever built, or one of the greatest bikes ever built. I love the pants off it, and just being able to overtake cars in a millisecond is worth the price of admission. It's an unreal bike. It really is an unreal bike. I love it to bits. Having said that though, with the injury that I've caused myself, or the bike's caused, I am seriously considering looking at adventure bikes for my next bike. Not because they're any better than this, because they're not, no way, Jose, but because I physically don't think I can ride a sport bike or a semi-sport bike anymore. I just don't think my body's cut out for it anymore, so I may have no choice but to change my style of bike. Not this year though. It may be next year. I'm going to get as much use out of this as I can this year first, but obviously I'll only do that if I'm forced to do it. Because an adventure bike is not why I ride bikes. I don't ride bikes because of adventure biking. I ride it because of sport touring, and if I had to give that up, then that would be a damn shame. I can see Clee Hill from here, and the snow on the top of it looks like a massive mountain. But welcome to sunny Bridge North, and it is sunny. It is freezing cold, but the sun is out. Another thing I've noticed is in the last 3 or 4 or 5 rides I've been on the bike, I've had the panniers on and loads of weight in the panniers, and it's been great, don't get me wrong, it's been fantastic. This is the first time I've been out for a long time without the panniers on. And it's a remarkable difference, it really is. It's very capable with them on, but without panniers, this is just it can be an absolute mad sport bike. It really can be. It doesn't feel like a touring bike, a sport tourer at all. This feels like a full-on sport bike. Obviously until you get into some of the tight twisties, it's a bit heavier, quite a lot heavier. You do have to wrestle it round a little bit, but it is brilliant. I think the handling on this bike is just mega, absolutely mega. So you've probably seen that I've been doing a few different things in the last couple of videos, trying to get my fitness up, and I've been going on some hikes. I've done 3 so far, I think. I filmed them for you, so I'm going to be doing those occasionally as well. So this takes me to some mega places, some really beautiful places, but I'm not content with just riding there and parking and looking at what's in the car park. I have to put a backpack on and just go out wandering. So I've been putting those on the video as well. So I hope you're enjoying those, because them hikes are just awesome. Goal for me is to get up Snowdon and places like that. Probably do the West Highland Way in Scotland as well, and get up Ben Nevis. That's my end goal. But for now, I'm just taking it easy because I'm so bloody unfit. What a beautiful day. I don't care how cold it is, it's beautiful. I'm just going to go see if anyone's going to be in the calf. So it's 1:30 on a Sunday. But the sun is out, and I have seen quite a few bikes on the road. So maybe in luck. Loads luck. Was there ever any doubt? All you need is a bit of sun, isn't it? There's a few here, look. Quite a few, actually. Well, I'm not sure how much of that I got on film, because my GoPros, both of them, have started to play up. They're doing some really peculiar beeps and bongs. So I don't know if I got any of that on film. So if not, I'll have to try again another day. But I think it's time to, definitely time to ditch the GoPros and look for some other brand, because it's getting ridiculous now. They seem to be failing on me. every time I go out now, and I've heard the new ones are not much better. And the last thing you want when you're going on a tour, which we'll be going on this year, is for your cameras to fail. But anyway, yeah, there's a few out today, look. Well, let's see if I can construct this video a little better. So let's start from the front and go to the back, and I'll give you my opinions on everything in between after 10 months of use. So at the front, obviously we've got the tyre, the front tyre, and the Brembo brakes. The brakes are incredible on this bike. The back is very good as well, but the front brake is amazing. I've had no problems with the brakes whatsoever. The ABS as well is not a shock when it comes on like it used to on the VFR. You can feel it intruding when the ABS does come on, but it doesn't scare the pants off you. Them Brembos, they stop you on a dime. They're fantastic. The tyres I've changed, like I said, to the Road 6s now, which seems to be a very, very good tyre. Having no problems with them. And then moving up to the lights, people say that the front light on the bike is worse than useless. I actually don't have a problem with it. It seems to light up the road fine for me. So I'm going to say the light's very good on the front. The cornering lights are excellent. I absolutely love them. When we go around the lanes and they light all the grass verge up the side. Fantastic they are. They're not just a gimmick. They're bloody brilliant they are. The screen, so coming onto the screen, the standard screen that was on it was terrible. I think it was the performance screen. And like I say, it might be just my height, but it was awful. I had the worst buffeting that I've ever had on any bike ever, so I had to change that. So I put this Power Bronze one on, which is pretty good. The mirrors, they're good. I've got used to them. They're very adjustable, and the fact that you can put them in and out, that's been very useful over the last 10 months, you know, putting the bike away and getting the bike out. Fantastic, no problem with the mirrors. You can see everything. Elbows are not too much in the way. And then coming onto the dash, I mean, me personally, I would prefer to have you know, analog gauges, but this is the way all the bikes are going these days, isn't it? So I've got no problem with digital dashes. It's just that I prefer analog dash because you can watch the needles climb on the miles per hour and on the rev range. It adds to the experience, doesn't it? Whereas on this, it's just it's a bit but yeah, it's fine. It does the job. The technology that's built into the bike that you can adjust using that screen is just phenomenal. And the fact that you can change what you see on the screen, you know, you can change it to your boost, you can change it to range, tyre pressures, because it's got the tyre pressure valves. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate as well. Miles per gallon, how much range you got left, lean angle, fuel, yeah, G-force, G-force, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can swap and change what you want to see on the screen. I think that's brilliant. And change it from light to dark as well. That's a good little option. So I'll put mine on black instead of white, so it's always black, which I think looks better. So yeah, dashboard's fine, no problems at all. The switch gear on the bike, a little bit fumbly with my fat thumbs, but I seem to hit most of the buttons when I need to. The one that I do struggle with is the horn, because they've put the horn down there, which is underneath the indicator stalk, which sticks out a little bit, so it's quite hard to find the horn. But the rest of it seems all right. One thing I do keep doing is the reset button on the left handlebar. It's right next to the hazard, so when you press reset to come back out of a menu, I keep hitting the hazard lights. That's a great road, that is. You can't help but open it up on that road. So then we move on to, I've got the electronic suspension there, all the gubbins for that in front of me. It's brilliant. Electronic suspension works absolutely fine. I just had it set wrong. It was far too firm for me. Now I've softened it up, it's a lot better. And then right here we've got the keyless ignition, which is absolute rubbish. Rubbish. So I've done a few videos on this. It's terrible. So this is not a keyless bike, it's just keyless ignition. Everything else that you have to open on the bike: panniers, fuel cap, helmet lock, back seats. Everything else you have to fumble about and find the key for. It's just the ignition that's keyless, and I don't see any points in that at all, having nowhere to put your key. I don't see any points in that at all. I hate it. I hate the keyless ignition. So then the range on the bike, like I say, I can get over 200 miles out of a tank on the bike, so it's got a great range. I'm not sure how many litres go in the tank. I'll put it on the screen for you, but it lasts about 200 miles, 220 miles, something like that. If you're having fun, then between 170, maybe 160 if you're going nuts, but usually I get around 200 miles on a tank, which is great for touring. The protection on the bike from the wind, so the fairings, where your feet are, all that stuff is brilliant. I've had no problems at all with you know, wind bashing me from all angles. Totally different to the naked version, of course, but this faired version, yeah, it does a very, very good job of pushing the wind off your legs and your feet as well. Feet don't get very cold on the bike either. Then moving towards me to the supercharger, which is down by my right thigh. So the engine and supercharger on this bike is unreal. It's remarkable. So it's just like your wrist, your right wrist. It's just like you're controlling that supercharger. When you're dialed in, after you've been riding for a few hours and you're just totally dialed in with the bike, the control that you've got is, oh man, it is superb. It's what it's all about, this bike. It's magic. I can't state enough how fantastic the performance is from that engine and the supercharger, and the way you can control it. It's just unreal. One thing I will say while we're at power and my throttle hand here is that when you're in road mode or sport mode, the throttle is snatchy. So going at slower speeds in road mode, you get a bit of a snatchy throttle. In sport mode, it's even snatchier still, and it does do your head in after a little bit. If you're in rain mode, it's very smooth and very calm, no snatchiness whatsoever. But yeah, in road and sport mode, you do get a snatchy throttle. That can all be ironed out with the tune. If I do keep this bike more than next year, which I'd love to be able to do that, then I will be getting the bike tuned, and I'll smooth all that out. But yeah, it has got a bit of a snatchy throttle, unfortunately. The seat on the bike is very, very comfortable. I think this has got a different seat for the 23 model. It's a lot plusher than the year before, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it's a nice wide seat, very cushiony. Max, when he's on the back, he said the back seat's very comfortable as well. So the seat itself is very comfortable, and I've been sat in it for hours and hours. I mean, all day and all night some days, and I never have a problem with the seat. The foot pegs and yeah, so the position of my feet is just right for me. Like I said, I'm 5'8". It's not too sporty and it's not too low, it's just about right. And the quick shifter that's down there, up and down, is amazing. Buttery smooth, no problems at all. And then going underneath, like I've said about the centre stand is rusting, which is really peculiar, but yeah, it's happening. And also the chain, using that Worth chain cleaner and lube, dry lube, as yeah, the chain's gone rusty. So like I said, I won't be using that anymore. I'll be using the other stuff, the purple stuff. And then go right towards the back. Obviously you can't put a tail tidy on this. Well, I don't think you can because of the radar that's on the back. You know, the blind spot detection radar. It would be very difficult or challenging to get a went straight down that pothole. Yeah, it'd be very challenging to get a tail tidy on the back of this, I would think. And the last thing that's back there, obviously the under seat storage, which there practically isn't any. So yeah, that gets on my nerves, the fact that I can't put my camera stuff in there. I'll have to put it all in my pockets. But there you go. What a gorgeous day. It says it's 7 degrees. It ends. Well, that might be the air temperature, but with this wind, It feels about 2, I've got to be totally honest with you, and there's still ice on the roads as well, some of the roads. So yeah, 7's, it's a bit weird, but it says it's 7. So it definitely feels 2, maybe 3 at a push. Bloody freezing, put it that way. But it's lovely and clear. Oh, look at it. Beautiful. Apart from the cold, it's absolutely gorgeous. There was one thing I missed, wasn't there? I did say it at the start of this video, the apps that you get to, you know, control the bike on your phone, all that kind of stuff, turn by turn maps, etc, etc. The less said about them, the better. I can't get on with them at all, so I'm not even going to go through them. I think it'll take a whole new video just to show you the issues that I have with that. But I'm going to say I can't stand them. I think they're absolute naff. There you go. That's just me. Oh, there is another thing I've noticed about the bike, having ridden it through the summer last year. It doesn't overheat at all. So it's a nice cool 76 degrees at the minute, the bike is. Well, you'd expect that, wouldn't you, in this sort of heat. But in the summer last year, it didn't overheat at all, and I only remember the fans coming on when I was on my drive trying to get the bike into the shed, so it's just sitting there idling. I don't remember the fans coming on while I was out and about, so I think that's another trait for the supercharger. I mean, you'd expect it to get hot, wouldn't you? But I don't think this bike has got hot at all in all of them 6,000 miles, which is very strange, isn't it? But yeah, I thought I'd let you know that as well, because I've just thought of that. No overheating on the bike, which is really good, isn't it? My VFR, the fans were on that quite a lot, but I haven't heard them come on this at all while I've been out and about. Right, let's get back in the park and I'll give you my my final verdict. So what do I think of it then after 10 months? Do I still think it's amazing? Yes, I do. There's loads of people still here, so this is weird. I still think it's an absolutely amazing bike. Would I buy it now, knowing that I'm going to struggle with the riding position? That's a really tough one. I'm going to say probably yes. I would still buy it knowing I was going to struggle with the wristies and the shoulder, etc. I don't think you can get bar risers yet for the 23 model. They've got the... This one's got the suspension gubbins up here, so I don't think they've made one of these yet, you know, the Murph's kits or whatever. I don't think there's one available for the 23 model. I've reached out to a few manufacturers and they said they haven't got them yet. If that was an inch up and back like the VFR, I would be absolutely perfect. That would be perfect for me on the bike, so I might have to just wait until something comes out that helps me with the riding position. So my disappointments really are with the things like the rusting centre stand. That's really peculiar, isn't it? I know they all go on the bottom, but that's because they're scraping on the floor. But for all the coating to be coming off it, I hope that isn't a sense of things to come with the trellis frame and stuff, because it looks like it's got the same coating on it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really disappointed that that's happened and that I've snapped one of the straps in the pannier. But overall, man, it really is just the greatest bike. I love the pants off it, as you can probably tell. So that's it. After 10 months and 6,000 odd miles, that's pretty much everything about my little bike here. Right, it's time to bail. I'm freezing cold and I'm dying for a wee. Well, another thing I didn't mention was the exhaust. This has got the Krapovic exhaust on it, which you get with the performance pack, and obviously it's got the baffle in there and you can't take it out, you know, the silencer. I can't figure out how to take it out anyway. It doesn't sound too bad at all, you know. When you're up there in the rev range, it sings, it's lovely, and it's nice and quiet when you're just pootling about like this. Well, I hope this video has given you some things to think about if you're thinking about getting one of these bikes. I would urge you to get out on one for a good couple of hours and give it a test. If you can find one to test ride, please do get out on one. I think you'll be astonished. I never test rided this before I bought it, I bought it on sight alone. When I saw it at the motor show, I ordered it then from down Cornwall Kawasaki, so we could have a nice ride out and back again. I would though definitely urge you to get out on one for a good old couple of hour test ride. Yeah, don't just go out on it for 15 minutes, you know, go out for a couple of hours. I think you'll love it. So yeah, I hope this has given you something to think about if you're thinking about buying one. If you've got one and you're having, you know, similar experiences to me, it'd be great to hear from you in the comments. Maybe we can have a chat. So if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, and you can, it would really help me out, you know, my little channel. It would help me out massively if you could sub to the channel, give me a little thumbs up if you like videos like this. Some cracking videos that I've put out, well, I think they're cracking anyway. So there's many hours of watch time for you if you're bored. And we have actually got some plans in the making. I'm planning at the moment for some big trips in 2024 this year. Haven't revealed them yet because they're not finished. I've got to finalise the plans. Something could still go wrong, obviously, this early stage. So stay tuned for all that. But yeah, if you could sub to me, that would really help as a little thank you. That would be mega. But if you can't, don't worry about it. You're welcome here anyway. Everybody's welcome here. Fully inclusive. If you'd like to go out for a ride with me, I'll be doing a subs ride out at some point in the spring. Be great to meet up with you face to face and have a nice cup of tea with you and a bacon sarnie. So listen out for that. And to finish, I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video. It is very much appreciated, and I hope you have an absolutely awesome day and a fantastic week to come, weekend. Alright, I'll see you soon. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.